hello. This is Nurse Choma. Today I'm going to be talking with you about, common health problems that really target African American women. Now, this is definitely a topic that's near and dear to my heart, because I am obviously an African American woman. And so I hope that from listening to this topic, it will be enlightening, it'll be, informative, and then you really honestly take it to heart and really listen to it intently because it has the ability to change your life. I'm going to share with you some data, some very alarming statistics that really blew my mind. And this kind of goes back to me I remember when I was in nursing school and when we were learning different medical surgical diseases, because I've been a nurse now for almost 11 years, a registered nurse, and like I remember learning like, oh my God, there's like we have everything. I remember thinking that because there was just so many diseases that really targeted African Americans in general as a whole. And in this video, I'm going to talk specifically though when it comes to for Black women, so we can get our life together. We can get our health together. We are strong women. We are vibrant women. We birth generations and we birth humankind and our, we are so powerful, but yet though we're suffering in our health. And so I hope that this is going to bring you some awareness. So if you find this helpful, I want to encourage you right now to likes or subscribe wherever you're watching this from. My health page on Facebook, which is called Health and Wellness with Nurse Choma. If you're watching this video on YouTube, then follow me on YouTube as well. But go ahead and follow the page right now because this is going to give you really informative information about health and wellness. All right, so let's go right into the topic. So first, I'm going to give you guys some data, right? So if you want to, you can take notes, listen intently. But this data will shock you when you hear this information. All right, and please share this video. Share this with somebody who could really benefit from this. Okay, so here's the first thing that I read. So it says around 7.6% of Black women have heart disease, compared to 5.8% of white women and 5.6% of Mexican American women. So it's higher with us, according to the CDC. And this is from 2011 to 2013 data. So it could have increased definitely by then. In 2016, around 46 of every 100,000 Black women died from strokes, while 35 out of every 100,000 white women did. So 46 out of 100K women died from strokes, but only 35 out of 100K white women died from strokes. And then while white women's diabetes diagnosis rate is 5.4 per 100 people, that number is 9.9 per 100 Black women, according to the CDC. Okay, this is data that's taken from 1980 to 2014. So it's shocking, right? It's alarming. I'm going to give you some more information as we're going along. So here's another important data here is that Black women have a 1 in 9 chance of developing breast cancer. But white women, it's 1 in 8. Here is the part that's really shocking. Black women, though, are more likely to die from it, though. And white women, the probability of dying from breast cancer is 1 in 37. While Black women, it's 1 in 31. I don't know about y'all, but I was like, I wanted to get emotional. I was like getting angry when I was like reading all this and just like, wow, this is really crazy. This is terrible, It's though it is happening at the ethnicities, we're the highest out of all of them. So let's talk about why this is a little bit. What I will say, this is what I would honestly say is like there's so many different reasons why we're more prevalent breast cancer, and there's more data I'm going to share with you actually. Breast cancer, diabetes, um, what was that thing I shared as well? Oh, heart disease. So there's just different factors, and don't try to have an open mind, because if you have a narrow mind, you're only going to hurt yourself, especially if you are a black woman, right? You're only killing yourself if you have a narrow perspective about this information. So here's the reality. One thing I will say is like definitely health disparities. Okay. A lot of stuff is also generational. So like if we look back at the Tuskegee experiment where they were pretty much injecting syphilis into black people, which created a mistrust of an older generation of black people that didn't want to go to the doctor. Even now with the pandemic, with the COVID vaccine, a lot of studies were showing a lot of black people didn't want to go get the vaccine. We're the last ones to want to get it because we just don't trust, um, you know, healthcare, and it's horrible because whether we realize it or not, we're just killing ourselves. Even like conspiracy data that's all coming from black people about why, for example, with the vaccine, like just certain things, not trusting your doctor, like we're just killing ourselves with this misinformation. And so the problem is that then we fall into this agenda, and then we try to become our own physicians and nurses when we didn't go through medical school. Let me tell you, it's a lot of information to know. We didn't go through nursing school, but yet we try to diagnose ourselves. We think WebMD can tell us everything. No. Mm-mm. Oh, just pour some salt in the honey, right? Like we really don't take things seriously enough. And then I didn't get a chance to look at this, and I really want to study this later actually, is how many black people have health insurance. So obviously, here's the thing, like, and we'll talk about in a minute, the cost of healthcare insurance. But if you have health insurance, you're more likely to live longer. There's no thing around that. Because think about this. One, you can go to the doctor right away. You can do preventative screenings. Um, Especially if you have a good physician, right? You can get the screenings, you can get the checkups, everything you need to do to keep your body in alignment. They can find things early, right? So we don't like to do all that as far as like seeing the doctor. I don't know about you, but no, you like it, find it needed and necessary, right? So this is the huge reality. It's so important. Like we have to have healthcare insurance, and the thing though is like I know it is expensive. I know it like that's why they have the Affordable Care Act, but then people still are sharing that they can't afford healthcare insurance. And what I will tell you is that like this is why I'm such a huge advocate about starting your own business, financial freedom, talking about money. Because if you struggle financially, then you're not gonna get healthcare insurance, which puts you in a cycle, and now you can't do what you need to do to protect your health, right? So like, yes, I'm gonna talk about money. Yes, I'm gonna talk about multiple streams of income. Yes, for your sake, so that way you can live a long life, so you can pass down generational wealth. Yes, right? The devil is a liar, right? If you're over here like condemning, talk about making money, having a lot of money, yes, you need it. So that way you can see the doctor whenever you want to see the doctor. Imagine if you had to have a procedure and the procedure is like hundreds of thousands of dollars and you're screwed. This is the challenge that we face, is that we don't have healthcare insurance in order to get these preventative measures, which reduces the likelihood of these problems happening. Yes, I know that there are racist physicians. I know that the system is rigged. I know all of that. But your chances of being healthier is greater if you have healthcare insurance. And I learned this recently. You're even right now, because of the pandemic, things have shifted. You can apply for healthcare insurance right now. Did you know that? You can get it right now. Before it used to end at like December 15th or even January. Now it's extended. You can apply for health insurance right now. Okay, see a real doctor, not WebMD. Okay, get a real doctor, right? And the more the better. So if you can have, you see, like they say that studies show that wealthy people, they have like 5 people in their life: an accountant, their a primary doctor, I forgot what the other choices are, a counselor, a therapist, a pastor. So with you, you can have your primary doctor that you see, and then you can have a nutritionist. You can have a health coach. Because let me tell you right now, it's not fun being sick, right? It's not fun being in chronic pain. You can't birth certain things. You can't do certain things. Your relationships suffer. The quality of your life sucks because your health is out of whack, right? So this is why it's so important. Slow and steady wins the race. You can get there, but you have to start somewhere though. All right, so let me get off my tangent now. So, yeah, so that's one of the biggest things. So let me share with you some more of this data. Um, so that's one big thing right now is getting healthcare insurance. Another thing too, let me give you some more data based on cervical cancer. So it says here that Black women are more likely to die of cervical cancer than any other race. That's what the data says. We're more likely to die than any other race. You know why? So cervical cancer stems from being positive for HPV, which also stems from having an very active sexual activity, right? Especially if you're with multiple different men. Of course, that's going to increase the risk. So you see how this happens, and then unfortunately, this is I don't want to use the epidemic, but it is a problem. It is a thing in the African American community. So as far as promiscuity, I'll say it like that. Okay, so there's that data, right? It's high. Cervical cancer is higher amongst Black women. So having Pap smears is how you can prevent that, right? I believe you need to get the Pap smear at least once per year. Okay, at least once per year. Let's see. The next data. Oh, here we go. This was huge. Is Black women are 3 times more likely than any other race to get uterine fibroids. So here's what I'll say about fibroids. Fibroids are very unfortunate, very painful, very uncomfortable, terrible. Fibroids is pretty much these growths that are on your uterine wall or within your reproductive system that results in heavier menstrual cramps, heavier, longer bleeding, which promotes anemia. Also, studies show that people that have fibroids tend to have higher blood pressure as well. Um, this is reason why, like, so unfortunately it's just more common. It says, like, the data says 3 times more likely to occur in Black women than any other race. So here's the thing I will tell you, and what I'm hoping is that as you're listening to all this data, as you're listening to all this data, that it's giving you some ideas as far as what you should be doing in your health. So one, like I said earlier, getting healthcare insurance. I'm sorry, healthcare insurance, and then getting the Pap smears once a year, seeing your doctor regularly so they can catch things early. And we'll talk in more detail in another video. We'll talk about in this video about nutrition. Okay, so yeah, so this is some of the things too. Is like with fibroids, because if you're gonna bleed more, when you bleed more, it drops your hemoglobin levels. When your hemoglobin levels are low, you are very tired and fatigued. When you're very tired and fatigued, because you have low hemoglobin, you need to get a blood transfusion. So the way that if you do have fibroids, the doctor told you that, right? There's a couple of things you can do to combat this. One, you have to be aware of your diet. Okay, so there's certain foods that trigger or make the fibroids increase, or get bigger, I should say, or promotes more fibroid growth. Soy milk is one of them, actually, because it mimics the estrogen like behavior. Also, being on estrogen, birth control, that promotes fibroid growth. Um, that contains estrogen in it. So there's just different things, fatty foods, processed foods, all of those contributes to fiber growth. There's also foods that help to reduce fiber growth too. Um, as far as reducing inflammation, green tea is a big one. Okay, green tea makes a huge difference. With especially with the pain, with the inflammation. Also, as well, I'm trying to think of another one. Oh, fruits and vegetables. So you gotta take more fruits and vegetables, potatoes, oats, lentils, just so many different things. What I may do is create a list for you guys so you can have the list ready to go. If you want a list of food of yes and no foods, just put in the comments below this video list, LIST. And if I get enough people, then I'll consider creating a guide for you guys. So yeah, so there we have. So there's different types of foods that can make it bigger. There's also products that you can take, um, like that will also help with fibroid reducing or slowing down the growth. Now, one thing I would recommend too that would definitely help if you could take anti-inflammatory medications. NSAIDs are more effective, but the problem with the NSAIDs is that like NSAIDs is like ibuprofen. Those are examples. Aleve. The problem with that though is that if you take too much of it, it can raise your blood pressure. So if you can consume something that has the same anti-inflammatory effect but doesn't produce elevated blood pressure, that's the most ideal. Our OPC3 product would be great for that actually, because our OPC3 works really well with inflammation, and it's all natural ingredients, which doesn't promote elevated blood pressure. Let me see if I can pull it out. I don't know if I actually have it in front of me, to be honest. Um, okay, I don't have it in front of me, but it's pretty much has like this is the choose version. But it's pretty much what this looks like, but the bottle. So if you go above this video, I may put in the link as well, but if you go above this video, you can get the OPC3, the powder. The other thing about having fibroids too, with excessive bleeding, like I said, it makes you very anemic. So you need to constantly restore your iron levels. So you need to either be taking supplemental iron. We have a multivitamin with iron, which I recommend. It's life changing. I'll tell you that right now. The multivitamin, it doesn't taste good. I'll be honest, it doesn't taste good. But like I've taken it myself when I was really weak, and it like within a couple of hours, I felt like something was like it was like oxygen. That's how powerful it was. So we got multivitamin with iron. Iron is really important. Really great product that really helps with your iron levels. So you have to take that so that we don't end up in the hospital on blood transfusions, because that's a lot more expensive, right? It's definitely more expensive to go to the doctor and they hook you up on blood transfusions per visit. So that I always recommend for this here our women's health product. So the women's health product, this right here is the best out of everything. So this one contains everything I'm mentioning and more. So let me mention one more thing that's also important too when you have fibroids is to take vitamin D. All right, as in dog. Vitamin D also helps with slowing down the growth and the size of the fibroids too. So you can take iron by itself, iron supplements by itself. You can take vitamin D by itself. Of course, if you take it by itself, it's more concentrated, so it's higher potency. This, however, has everything in one. So I usually just at least take this at minimum per day. There's 30 packets in here. This is well worth the money, right? Because I know sometimes people are like, I don't know, it's kind of expensive. How much are you going to put a price on your health? Like, because there's been times where my anemia levels was like 8.8, which is, if it's at 8, you have to get a blood transfusion. And this rose it up by 2 points within a day. That's how powerful this is. That's how life-changing this is. So it's worth it. Remember, if you don't invest in your health, you'll be forced to invest into it later. You have to be proactive, especially with all the data I just gave you right now about Black women. You don't have an option. We don't. We honestly don't. So here it has vitamin A, vitamin C, it has vitamin D3. We have vitamin D2. The only difference between D3, D2 and D3 is that one is as far as like where the source is. Um, D2, I want to say D3 is more better than D2. But I think I did another teaching about this, but today I don't have that information in front of me. Vitamin E, vitamin B12. So B12 helps to produce more red blood cells, which helps to boost your iron levels. This also contains biotin in it. So biotin, when you take biotin, biotin helps with hair growth and nails. So if you're losing your hair or your nails are thinning, your hair is brittle, biotin is your go-to solution. Biotin is also one of the elements that's in that product called Hairfinity, a really popular product. This has it in it though, and it has over 1,000%, actually almost 2,000% of the normal value. Iron, it has 56% of your daily value of iron. Magnesium, zinc, potassium. Also has anti-inflammatory ingredients such as grapeseed extract, bilberry extract, and it has hyaluronic acid in it too. Hyaluronic acid is really good for your bones, moisture in your skin health. Really, really potent. And it's very minimal in sugar, only 5 grams of sugar. So essentially, what you do when you get these in the mail and we send it to your house, they come in these little packets. You mix it with water, not the whole thing. This is too much. So maybe like here, okay. You just put. That's all you do. You just mix it with water, and then this. I'm almost done with mine. You drink it. All right, and it tastes fine. Like to me, I don't think it's a bad taste. It tastes good to me, so I'm used to the taste by now too. And people that tried it, including myself, have noticed that from taking it, it's not only restored their energy levels, increased their iron levels, but also the peeling in their lips went away, skin discoloration went away. Certain elements that they had, like little stuff in their nails, disappeared because you were getting adequate supplements. So a lot of times, some of the health problems that we have is really honestly as a result of not having enough vitamins. Okay, so all right, so let me go on to the next thing. Okay, so another thing too is this adequate nutrition, right? Um, Having adequate nutrition, fruits and vegetables, there's no way around that. Eating more of that and less of fatty foods, less of unhealthy stuff. That has to be our go-to method. Okay. Let me give you another statistic that I just read here. Um, so black women, right? Unfortunately, black women are more likely to have premature babies than white women. So with black women, it's 13%. With white women, it's 9%. So here's the thing I'm going to mention, and there's more data, but I'm just going to stop with that. Honestly, we have to change the culture, honestly, and you have to seek out the right information. Sometimes the reason why you're experiencing the life that you're experiencing in your health or other issues is because that's what you know. So your life is producing what you already know. So you have to be willing to change what you know by learning information like this and more so you can produce the health and the life that you desire. Right? So it starts with us, and it's no longer about us like saying like, oh, because of racism. Yes, racism is not going away. That's the reality. But what can you do? How can you be proactive? Right? How can you change your life and better yourself? Another thing too is like healthy weight. Healthy weight. Now I know some of y'all, you ain't gonna like what I'm gonna say. Like, well, you know what? You're thin, so you can't talk. Get out of here. All right. So don't let how I look fool you. All right. But I mean, I'm slender, and I'm proud to be that way. To be honest. So here's what I'm gonna tell you. The culture that we live in, all right, in in the Black community celebrates being really, now please don't see this as like bashing, putting you down. Please don't see that. I'm talking about from a health perspective. The culture that we live in, right, celebrates having a big booty, right? Celebrates being like really, really thick, lots of meat on our bones, etc. But the thing that you have to realize is that when you are overweight, you're more likely to have diabetes. Let me tell you, like being diabetic, right, in the second half of your life is not fun, right? Like now everything the culture told you about, yeah, be thick, eat all this junk food and etc. so you can look a certain way. Like now it's catching up to you, and who's benefiting? Nobody. You're not benefiting, right? So when you're overweight, one is that you're more likely to be diabetic. Checking your sugar every day, giving yourself insulin, that's expensive. When you're overweight, you're more likely to have cancer. Did you hear that part? When you're over, because the thing is like when you're overweight, you have something called fat cells or adipose cells, which can trigger mutation, which is a risk factor associated with cancer. So, and remember, we just looked at the data that 1 in 9 African American women are more likely to get cancer than the white race, right? Whereas 1 in 8 with white women, or 37 out of 100,000 out of 100 versus 31 out of 100 for white women. So while BET and the media is like really proclaiming all this stuff to us about looking a certain way, being thick and all that kind of stuff, nothing's wrong with having a little meat on your bones. Nothing wrong with that. But is it to the point though where now you're diabetic? Is it to the point no where now you have a stroke, right? In the later part of your life. That's what you ask yourself. So having a healthy weight is really important. I remember I recently saw a video, and the video was this woman. She was an African American woman. It was like playing a background the song, like a song, maybe like Cardi B or something like that. And but it was all about being confident. And the woman, she was beautiful in her face. I could tell she had a beautiful character, heart, and she was very confident. But if I was to guess how her weight was, probably anywhere from 600 to 800 pounds. And I saw below the video, people were commenting saying, oh my gosh, you're so beautiful, which is good. We shouldn't bash her, definitely. But it's not healthy though, right? And I'm sure at the same time, there was a part of her that it probably took her courage to do that video because she's coming out of her skin. So I celebrate her as a woman, her personality, her character. But the reality is that it's not healthy to be 700 pounds. Do you know how hard your heart is working when you're that heavy? How hard your heart is working every day, every second of the day. That's why we have to take our health more serious than any other race. We have to. And then stress is also important too. Because of everything that happens in the world, being a mother, mental health, just so many different things. Stress can make a huge role on your blood pressure, your heart, everything. So we have to, and unfortunately in the Black community, it's getting there, but we're not there yet. It's not as celebrated to take care of you. It's not, mental health, seeing a therapist is not as celebrated. It's not as accepted as it should be. And we need it the most. We need it the most. We need to see a therapist. We need it the most out of any other community when I look at it as far as everything that we've gone through. Not saying that other communities have not gone through anything. Please don't think that. But I'm just saying, in light of everything that we have experienced since slavery and beyond, we need to go through the healing of trauma and etc. So that, in a nutshell, is what I wanted to share today. In regards to common health problems amongst Black women. I hope you hear my heart today. I really do. I hope that you heard me. I hope that this will benefit you. I pray that you will make significant changes in your body, in your life from this teaching. So that way you can live a long life with your children. That way you can live a long life with your spouse or your spouse to be. That way you can live the fruitful life that you deserve. But it starts with how you take care of you. All right? Once again, this is Nurse Choma. If you want to take advantage of the products, like I mentioned earlier, the women's health, take advantage of that. It will save your life. It will change your life. The health products, the OPC3, click above below this video for more information. If you have any questions, email me, message me. I'm open. I'm available. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you the next time. Bye-bye.